Well, I want to begin today's Mass by talking a little bit about our freedoms. And so I'm going to ask a series of questions. And to all present here, if you're able to answer yes to any of these questions, please raise your hand, because I want to make a point. First of all, do anybody here belong to any kind of club or association or organized group of any kind? Please raise your hand. Raise them high. Okay, very good. All right. Now, how many people here have traveled? I know COVID's cut down the travel a bit, but at least the last few years have traveled to another state or traveled to another country or did some visiting. Raise your hands. Oh, very good. Okay. Now, this one, I don't know if I'll get many hands for this. If anybody uttered a political opinion of any kind or voted, raise your hand. Okay. Finally, how many of you, now if you're old like me, read a newspaper, or if you're young, got your news online, raise your hand. Okay. And finally, if you attended a religious service of any kind. Now, if your hand's not up, you're at one now. All right. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press. These are our freedoms. And when you put your hands up to any of those things, you have exercised those freedoms. We don't often think about that. We often think about these things as it's always been this way, or we take it for granted that we could go where we want to go and say what we want to say and pray the way we want to pray and associate with who we want to associate with. We think that's just normal. It's not. It's not normal. Those are protected rights. And on this Veterans Day, we have to remember that these freedoms that you all put your hands up to have never been free nor are free now. You have to remember that there have been people in the past who put on that uniform. And the people today, men and women today, who put on that uniform. And those in the past and those in the present have taken the same oath. And it wasn't an oath to the president, and it wasn't an oath to the Congress. It was an oath to the Constitution. Look it up. They take an oath to preserve the Constitution, to preserve your rights of freedom. That's important to know. And I was very happy that Mr. Kyle Miller was willing to carry the flag down today in honor of his brother Ryan, who was serving in the military, and for all the people who are serving in our parish. And their names are in our parish paper. So as we honor the veterans, I want to do two things. First of all, if you are a veteran, stand up. Let's give all of our veterans a round of applause. Thank you. And secondly, when you take the church paper home today, take a look at the list of all the people who are continuing to serve. At least give a prayer for them. Give a prayer for them and keep them in your minds. For every time you go where you want to go, be with who you want to be with, say what you want to say, and pray the way you want to pray. Remember that those names on that piece of paper are out there wearing a uniform to guarantee that you're able to keep doing those things. Now we're worried about the gospel. Jesus says, of that day or hour no one knows, neither the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. When will the last day come? Well, some of us are old enough to remember that of the Guyana incident down in Guyana. Those crazy people down there had some so-called prophet who told them that the last day was here, and he gave everybody a poison Kool-Aid, and I don't know, 1,000 of them died in one spot. If you remember Guyana, that was tragedy. But from time to time, you see it on the news, or you read about a group of crazies who are suddenly convinced that this is the day. and they sell everything they have, or they give it away to the ministers telling them that. And they go sit on the roof and they wait. And then nothing happens. Sun comes up the next day, you know. Remember 1999, New Year's, all the crazy things coming out online, on TV. Oh, this is it. Remember the Mayan calendar? All the crazy things. It's all nonsense. We can't predict the last day. We can't even predict our own last day. And everyone has the last day when we leave this earth. We can't predict that either. Oh, I know we can play the odds on it. We can say, well, you know, if you smoke 3 packs a day, it's probably going to come a little bit shorter than the person who, you know, doesn't smoke and takes care of their health and eats right, you know. You can play the odds, you probably have more time, but the day will come. And so what Jesus really is trying to tell his disciples here is that don't worry about it. It will come. You will be standing before your Creator. Either your Creator will come back while you are alive, or you will pass from this world and stand before your Creator. But be with your Creator you will be. So treasure every day you got. Take every opportunity you got. Trust me, the older you get, the more grateful you get. You're glad you have another day you got up in the morning, and you're grateful that you have something to do. So celebrate the days God gives you. Take a little bit of time out. Pray for some people. Pray for those soldiers. Bring a bag of food for the poor, for the Thanksgiving collection. Do something for somebody else, whether in word or in deed. And show everybody else that Christ is alive in your life. And if you can do that every day until the day comes when God takes you, then there's nothing else to worry about at all. You'll never have to worry about a day again. There won't be any days. It'll just be a total, magnificent eternity with our Savior and our loved ones in heaven forever.